Manchester United have started talks with Fenerbahce over the signing of Turkish left-back Ferdi Kadıoğlu. Federico Chiesa offered to Manchester United in exchange for Jadon Sancho. Hope in the Lenny Yoro deal, plus an agreement for De Ligt expected in the immediate future. These are some of the stories we will be discussing on this afternoon's show. But before we get into that, please do me one small favour. Smash a like on today's video. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on today's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe to the channel. I'm live every single day at 8:30, 1:30 and 6 p.m. UK time. So if you want to keep up to date with all of your latest Manchester United transfer news and talk, this is the best place to do it. Now, I've got a question for you. And it's a very simple question. It is this. Should Manchester United swap Jadon Sancho for Federico Chiesa? Let me know in the comments section. Would you do that swap deal? So this is coming out from multiple different people in the last hour. And the headline is this, that apparently Federico Chiesa has been offered to Manchester United in exchange for Jadon Sancho. We know that Juventus have been in talks with Manchester United for weeks now about trying to bring Jadon Sancho over to Juventus. They haven't really managed to get very far though, because Manchester United's stance is that they want 40 to 50 million. No team are willing to pay that. Dortmund want him on loan. Juventus want him on loan. A couple of other clubs expressed interest on loan. But Manchester United want a permanent exit for Jadon Sancho, which, you know what? I agree with 100%. He's on big wages. He's obviously fallen out with the manager. The fan base don't want him to come back in the largest part. So he needs to be moved on. And if we were to loan him out, it's effectively facilitating his bad behaviour. It's facilitating his bad mentality and bad attitude. It's rewarding him with his dream move to another country, whilst we then still have to pay half of his wages. So I completely agree with Manchester United's stance here. It's either you leave permanently or you play with the under-21s. And I would actually, enforce that if I was Dan Ashworth and Ineos. And it looks like they are doing that. So at the moment, it looks like the most likely option would be Chiesa joining Manchester United and Jadon Sancho joining Juventus. It would be a permanent deal, but I want you to let me know in the comment section. Do you think this is a good bit of business? Federico Chiesa is 26 years of age. He did have a little bit of a poor season last year for Juventus, but in previous years, he has been a very, very good player for them. I would do this deal. I think at this point, we've kind of got to just take what we can. Jadon Sancho needs to leave the club. We need to clear his 250k a week wages. And if this is the only way we can do that, then I think we have to do it, to be honest with you. We don't really have many options here. But yeah, you can let me know in the comment section what your thoughts are below. Moving on from that, though, let's move over to Joshua Zirkzee. So Zirkzee is at Carrington right now doing his medical. We should get the official announcement from the club, I reckon, in the next couple of hours. We should get an interview with Erik ten Hag as well. And apparently he will wear the number 9 shirt, which is really, really cool. But there is a bit of a kicker on this. Samuel Luckhurst from the Manchester Evening News is reporting that apparently Joshua Zirkzee will not be available for 3 weeks. People are probably thinking, what? Why? He didn't play in the Euros. He sat on the bench. I think he played for about 5 minutes across the whole competition. Well, apparently there is a rule that every player has to have 3 weeks holiday before they can join back with the first team. So obviously he only finished the Euros, I think, a couple of days ago, on Wednesday was it? So apparently he's going to sign his contract today. He's going to do his medical, but he won't be available for 3 weeks, which means he's going to miss our first 2 preseason games against Rosenborg and Rangers. And he probably is going to miss the first game of the America Tour against Arsenal. We might see him against Real Betis or Liverpool, but there are some murmurs that he might not even go on the Tour of America. Now, obviously this seems crazy to us, but I guess players need rest. They need time to relax, I guess. I don't know. I'm a little bit unsure about this. It's just, I get it if it's, like a Bruno Fernandes who played throughout the whole Euros. Like, obviously, yeah, great, give him 3 weeks off. But Zirkzee didn't play. I guess he's still trained. He's still, every single day having to do football and train. So, I don't know. There's not really much we can do about this. I'm a bit frustrated about it, to be honest, but it is what it is. So, the best case scenario, we probably will see him in action maybe in America against Real Betis or Liverpool, which I think is at the beginning of August. So he's going to go off on holiday, and then, yeah, he'll be back in time, hopefully, for those games. But yeah, a little bit disappointing, but it is what it is. Everyone who's made it this far in the video, if you could do me a small favor and smash a like, that'd be really, really appreciated. Let's try and see 1,000 likes on today's show. And if this is your first time watching, please do subscribe. I'm live every day at 8:30, 1:30, and 2 p.m. Sorry, 6 p.m. UK time, so make sure you get involved here on Daily Red Devil. Okay, moving on from that, I have got some positive news for you today, and that is that Omar Berrada will officially start his role as the Manchester United CEO tomorrow. Amazing. Obviously, we had to wait a while because of the gardening leave that Man City had put him on, but he is starting tomorrow. So from tomorrow, we'll have Dan Ashworth, Omar Berrada, Jason Wilcox, obviously Erik ten Hag, Ruud van Nistelrooy, and René Haak. We've got an elite team there. So really, really happy about that. And obviously, I hope Omar Berrada does all of the things that we're expecting him to do and lives up to the hype, which I'm sure he will. But moving on from that, let's move over to the left-back situation. So this is being widely reported today from Turkish media that Manchester United have now started talks with Ferdi Kadıoğlu's representatives over a move from Fenerbahce to Manchester United this summer. He is apparently valued at 35 to 40 million euros. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, that sounds a little bit much to me. 40 million euros is about 33 million pounds. I think that does seem a little bit on the high end. Can anybody really tell me that they'd heard of him before the Euros? I'm sure if you watch the Turkish league, you know, you'd say, oh, he's a good player and all the rest of it. But effectively, he has become an exciting hype name because of his participation for the Turkish national team at the Euros. Before that, I don't think he was on our radar, to be honest. I mean, he might have been. I don't know for sure. But there is a bit of a flip side to this, though. Apparently, Fenerbahce want to sign Victor Lindelof. Lindelof's got 1 year left of his contract. Jose Mourinho is obviously the Fenerbahce manager, and he wants to reunite with Victor Lindelof. So there is potential that Lindelof joins Fenerbahce. The fee, apparently around 15 million euros. That's what's being reported. And then we sign Ferdi Kadıoğlu. So when you look at it like that, I would be okay if that happened. You know, we sold Lindelof for 15 million, and then say we bought Kadıoğlu for like 30 million euros. I think that would be a good bit of business, you know. But we'll have to wait and see. Do you think Ferdi Kadıoğlu is the right man for the job? Do you think he's good enough to be a Manchester United player? And more importantly, do you actually think we need a left back? Now, my take on it is this. I actually think that the reason that Manchester United are going all out for Jarrad Branthwaite is because of his ability to play at left back. For anybody who's unaware, Jarrad Branthwaite played most of last season at Everton as a left back. He obviously is he obviously can play left-sided centre-back and right-sided centre-back as well. But last season, for the whole year, he played at left back, and he did a really, really good job there. So I think Manchester United are going all out for Branthwaite because they see him as a backup option at left back, and also a starting option at centre-back, which is an amazing option to have, you know? Like, Lisandro Martinez can't play at left-back. Varane couldn't play at left-back. Johnny Evans can't play at left-back. Do you know what I mean? It's quite rare for a centre-back to be that versatile and that able to, you know, to play in different positions across the back four. So I'm actually growing to the idea of signing Jarrad Branthwaite a little bit more than I was before, because I think you're effectively getting 3 signings for the price of 1. You're getting a 2-footed player who can play obviously left or right-sided centre-back, but can also play at left-back. And if we got Jarrad Branthwaite, I don't think we need to go and get this Ferdi Kadıoğlu guy, because we would then have Luke Shaw, we would have Malacia, we would have Dalot who can play at left-back, and we would also have Branthwaite. We would have 4 options for the left-back position. So I don't really think we need to do this. I think, if anything, we should maybe put one more bid in for Branthwaite, 50 million plus add-ons, something like that, and try and get that deal over the line, because I think that would be a better option in the long run. But you can let me know in the comment section. Do you agree with what I'm saying, or do you think, do you think we should go for Ferdi Kadıoğlu? Okay, moving on to Lenny Yoro. This is coming out from Sky Sports. They're reporting that Manchester United are not going to give up on signing Lenny Yoro, despite his preference of being to move to Real Madrid. It says Lille would prefer to sell Lenny Yoro to Manchester United, as they have met their asking price, whereas Real Madrid are not willing to do that. Real Madrid have apparently offered £17 million for Lenny Yoro, and they've said to Lille, either you give him to us for 17 million now, or we'll sign him for free next year when his contract expires. So as it stands at the moment, the president of Lille is trying to push through the deal to Manchester United. Whether or not that will happen, we'll have to wait and see. Lenny Yoro hasn't rejected the club yet, though. He's still weighing up his options, and I hope and pray that he decides to come to Manchester United. So let's keep our fingers crossed that Lenny Yoro to Manchester United happens. And the final story I've got for you before I wrap up the video is a positive one, that Manchester United are now set to prioritise a new contract for Kobbie Mainoo. It says that Dan Ashworth is hoping to accelerate talks over Mainoo's extension once the player returns from the Euros. 100%, give him a pay rise. Obviously not stupid money. Put him on the same kind of money as Garnacho and Højlund, which is about, I think, 60 to 80 grand a week. He is the future of Manchester United, and we need to make sure we sign him down to a long-term contract. That's everything for this afternoon's show. It was just a quick one to bring you guys the news. I will be back later as always. If you have enjoyed today's video, please leave a like, drop a comment and subscribe. This has been Daily Red Devil, and I'll speak to you all a bit later on today. Bye for now.